Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
We've got some big news from the world of Disney. Disney's walking it back. Tiana's been canceled. She's been shut down. No, we're not talking about the ride. We're talking about her Disney Plus show, which maybe part of it is because the ride wasn't well received. I don't know, but yeah, this just broke like an hour ago. Her Disney Plus series has been canceled. They are going to do a special, but they're also getting rid of long-form streaming content. They're not going to do animated series anymore on Disney Plus.
Yeah, when it comes to animation, yeah.
So there are going to be significantly fewer jobs probably in the industry. The thing is, Disney Plus kind of replaced Disney Channel when it came to animation. Right. And they had a bunch of stuff in the pipeline, and it's just not going to happen now.
No, you said they're saying they're not going to do it. That doesn't mean they won't pick it up from other people.
Well, that's true, because that's what Netflix is doing, right? Netflix is like, yeah, we'll just pick up anime or something.
You pay for it, and if we want to use it, we'll pay to license it onto our platform. So this, because they aren't, I don't know if it's going to drop long form entirely, but it's probably going to be that other people have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. Because that's smart business, right? Why pay for it yourself? Why drop hundreds of millions of dollars on an animated series that you don't know if it's going to be a hit or not when somebody else will do it, like, Digital Circus or whatever, and then, Has Been Hotel, and you can just pick up the rights to it. Yeah,
so this along with this being shelved also leads to some issues at the Vancouver studio. They're going to do some layoffs.
Yeah, and that was interesting too, because they made a big deal about how they were moving production to Vancouver, and that's where they did Moana 2, right? And it was kind of like the Vancouver shop was kind of on the down low, and I guess some people in Burbank, my understanding is some people in Glendale and Burbank did not know that they were up there.
I didn't know, because it was in deadline in 2021 or 2022 that they were putting it in at there, but maybe they didn't know they sent the stuff that they were making changes. But that's where Moana 2 came from. And now Disney's seeing Moana 2 do well, and they're seeing Inside Out 2 do well. And they're kind of like, why are we spending all this money on these long-form shows that go to Disney Plus and we don't make any money on? When we could just put it in the theater, make sure people know it's not going to go to Disney Plus for a long time, so they go to the theater to see it, and we make money again like we used to.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, Inside Out 2 did gangbusters. So there's a lot of things going on here. I mean, they're walking back the DEI stuff on the animation. There, and we'll talk a little bit maybe more about the Princess and the Frog ride here, because I have to wonder if this show wasn't going to tie into that, because that was a completely different storyline from the movie.
I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me with all their synergy crap they always try to do.
Synergy, because I was like, why are we, like, who cares? Who cares about Tiana's restaurant? That was the end of the movie, right? It was the Princess and the Frog. They were frogs, and there's no villains. But let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
If you're looking for notifications, go out to clownfishtv.substack.com. You will get notified when we post new video content. Sometimes YouTube does not do its job very well. So yeah, this just broke. Tiana Disney Plus series shelved as Walt Disney Animation abandons long-form streaming content. And they announced it in 2020 is when they announced it, in 2020.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yep. So it says the show is envisioned as a musical. That's all we know.
They brought the original voice actor back, their actors back for it, and everything else. They were going to do it, and now they're pulling the plug.
Yeah. A spokesperson confirmed there will be some layoffs in the Vancouver studio as a result of the shift in business strategy. In addition to the Tiana series, the studio is also scrapping an unannounced feature-length project that was set to go straight to Disney Plus. I don't know what the plot is. So
they're basically cutting Disney Plus because they cut their nose off to spite their face, basically, with Disney Plus. And now they're like, oh, shit, it's not making any money. We need to get people back to the theaters. And every time you put a movie out in the theater and then we have that short window to Disney Plus, they just wait for Disney Plus.
Okay, this is interesting. Sounds like things weren't coming together. Sources close to the streaming series say that despite their best efforts, including several changes to the creative team, Tiana ultimately could not get to where it needed to be given its production costs.
Well, it sounds like they kept changing things and dragging it out longer. So, of course, the production costs were going to go up.
Was the Stories Matter group involved in this?
Most likely.
Well, because they got rid of the Stories Matter group. The Stories Matter group, for those of you who don't know, they were the Karens that went around and found everything problematic in the theme parks and on Disney Plus and suggested changes for inclusivity reasons, and they all got gone, I guess, or they shut that whole thing down. But they were the ones responsible for Splash Mountain getting the Tiana retheme.
Well, yeah, and the Jungle Cruise getting the retheme and the changes to Peter Pan and
taking Ladies and Gentlemen, Boys and Girls out. They were probably at the very beginning with the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean, yeah.
And they're gone. So also, isn't it weird? Like a week or two after it's announced that Disney's walking back its DEI, get rid of the Stories Matter group, down goes the Tiana series.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that
It could be
weird?
related. It could be.
It may be related. It may not be.
It could just be that they're just like looking at this for the new year and they're like, we're spending all this money on these shows that aren't going to be, we're not going to get return on investment.
Right. And people need to understand that. Like, you can't just shit out hundreds of millions of dollars and not get a return on your investment. Just all across the board.
Company can afford to do that and stay in business.
And I have to wonder though if part of it wasn't just the very piss poor reception to the ride.
Well, like you said, I mean, we don't know, but it's possible it tied into the attraction because where are they pulling this from?
Yeah, like what's the story?
Why would they do that? Why would they go with this story and not the original?
Okay, guys, we're going to do a 13-episode series about Tiana being a waitress.
Right? It's
like, wait, what?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what the original series was supposed to be about. They didn't give a whole lot of information about it. So who knows? But, it wouldn't surprise me if it was tied into the attraction at some level, but I don't know that.
Now, here's the thing. Disney has done this, like historically, they've been doing this since at least the 80s. They always had TV series based on hit movies. I mean, I remember going back, they had like The Little Mermaid and they had series.
Aladdin.
Aladdin, Hercules had a series. Pretty much everything in the 90s.
Stitch did. Stitch had a couple.
Stitch had a whole series. That's some of the most popular characters actually came from the series, not from the movie. And then they had like endless direct-to-DVD sequels and all that. So I mean, this is not new, but yeah, it does tell me that they're not really that interested in TV series anymore.
They're just not into you.
They're just not that into you, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. It sounds like they're just trying to, and I don't know if this is going to impact anything other than animation. They might be trying to tone down some of their other long form stuff, but the animation makes the most sense because where they're getting the return on their investment is theatrical. And yes. I mean, for a while it took a hit because of COVID. And as much as they try to get mad about like some things going direct to Disney Plus, like, Luca and Soul and stuff like that, they really didn't have a choice at the time. They really didn't. They tried to put it in theaters later, but you couldn't put the genie back in the bottle. And I think that's what's going on here is that they keep waiting longer and longer from theatrical release to Disney Plus release to try to train people to wait, that if you want to see, you have to go to the theater.
Yeah.
So they're trying to undo what they did, but the theaters are their best bet for making money and getting attention with the media.
It's interesting, though. They're saying they're still going to do this separate short form Princess and the Frog special, right? But it's a completely different creative team. So it's not like they're taking whatever they had with the Tiana series. Because I thought they were just going to take what they had and try to cobble it together.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But it's early in development. It's going to be completely different. No, is that the one they're going to tie to the attraction?
I don't know. They said
they might not have had that before. It might, we need to tie it to the attraction now.
Get people interested in going on the boring ass.
Yeah, they see because I know when they took the virtual queue down for both Splash Mountain, Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind line was like 3.5 hours. I think the most that the Splash Mountain went up to was like an hour and a half at the most. And it mostly stayed like in the 40-minute range, 50-minute range, where Guardians was like high all the time.
There's a joke in there.
I know. You know what I'm saying. It was much more demand, twice as much demand for Guardians as Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
It's such a damn shame, though, because, I mean, look, it could have worked. It's just like you left Story Matters get involved, and then you actually made this really subpar version of the ride when the ride could have been as good as Splash Mountain if you did it right. If you based it on the movie and you used Dr. Facilier and you added more in.
That was a big misstep. And that was because they didn't want to put voodoo and religion in. I'm like, the huge misstep. And I think that the show in early development would not surprise me if that wasn't the one that they're trying to connect to the attraction, to try to drum up interest in the attraction, especially given how much they're putting in parks and they're afraid of Epic Universe. I don't know this, but it would not surprise me if that somehow tied into the ride.
So they said, the decision came after Win or Lose. That was the Pixar series about the baseball team.
And the Dream Productions, which was the Inside Out spinoff.
Right. So they did not get the return on it. They're just like,
well, you want to hear something funny about the Win or Lose? People are mad now because they took out the transgender dialogue an episode. Well, one of the characters is very Christian and they're leaving that in. So people are all mad. So,
oh my gosh. Yeah,
more drama.
Are you saying that those issues are on par with religion? Because if that's what you're saying, that's a whole.
No, I'm saying they're leaving a very Christian character in, and their religion is part of who they are. They're leaving that in, but they took out the dialogue for the trans character. But what's interesting to me was at one point, if they left that in, they would have coexisted on the same team and been fine. Like a lot of people coexist and are fine.
Yeah, I mean it's weird about Disney because they really did go for a company that was, very traditional American values were kind of the backbone of Disney, and they had for years. They used to have the Christian music festivals there, and then they got rid of them, and then Universal picked them up. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, you can have, technically you can have both. You can have your Christian music festival one month and have your gay days or whatever another month, and they're different audiences. Well, I think
Disneyland has a gospel thing going on at Disneyland, and I think they still do the LGBTQ days. So I don't know. I just thought it was funny because they were really mad because they took out the one narrative from Win or Lose, but they left the other narrative in, and they're really ticked about it. So Disney's really taking a hard line on this.
Yeah,
apparently. But I think here it said. Talk about the money earned from the films. And they said it proved that theatrical was its animation's greatest strength after last year.
I know. Who could have foreseen that?
Yeah, so they're going to focus on their Zootopia 2 and their Frozen 3000. And
Frozen, I would go watch Frozen 3000.
I know, I'm just saying, it's like they're going to keep focusing on the spinoffs because they said for every one new movie they're going to do like 2 spinoffs. So they're going to focus on these spinoffs.
Well, now, just to pour a little salt when we did cover this in another video, but both Disney and DreamWorks got beat at the Academy Awards by a $3 million indie movie with Blender.
Right, and I think it's because people are rejecting, big studios. They're just trying. Well, I think there's a number of reasons. I think the one mandates too. They were mad about the strikes. And I think they're just trying to push independence through. So they were deliberately voting for anything that wasn't, what everybody expected them to vote for.
So I have a tinfoil hat theory. My tinfoil hat theory is Disney knows there's money for sure in theatrical releases. Mm-hmm. They're biding their time to see what happens with AI and with other alternatives, including Blender, whatever it is.
Blender does one. Using Blender 1.
Right. So they have you can't tell me that the bean counters at Disney, the Bob Iger isn't looking at this and being like, how the hell did we lose to a $3 million movie made with off-the-shelf tools, right? And a 20-person team, and they're going to look at that and be like, why can't Disney have a 20-person team working with AI and Blender making us more money?
Well, that's it. It's like, I'm not saying they could get rid of all the animators, but what I'm saying is they're spending how many millions of dollars on things like Wish that look like it was done in something like a AI or Blender. And they, were supposed to be hand drawn and all, 3D, but like animators. And they lost how much money on that? And then in comes, this movie Flow, and
if Disney made Flow, it would be about something completely different.
I know. It's not about that.
It's
about like water flowing, FLOW. But yeah, it's just. I'm sure there are some heated meetings going on this week.
Oh, I'm sure. It's going to kind of be like that Hitler meme. Have you seen that where he gets angry?
No. But. No, I think I have, but
yeah, he gets mad and he starts slamming stuff.
Yeah, I have seen that. But I said in the other video, and I'll say it again now, the takeaway for me on the independent winning is that, even if people did it to send a signal, send a message, the fact that it won means that there are going to be a lot of people investing that are like, oh, we can invest like a small amount of money in something that might end up doing really well and make us a lot more on the other end. And you might see an uptick in people willing to invest in small featured, short films or, small series or movies that are independently run because their budgets are like way smaller and they can demand a bigger part of the audience.
Right.
And I think there's a really big opportunity for people who have experience in animation right now, and they should go out and grab it while they can.
Grab it.
How dare I, though? I'm a horrible, terrible person who doesn't know anything about animation. So whatever.
So we're going to wrap this
Kiss
up.
my ass. Yeah.
All right. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.